So, I mean, huge congratulations, 2
Thank
awards in
you.
2 nights. So what was going through your mind when you went on stage?
Oh, I don't know, nothing. I was really nervous. I didn't have anything prepared, so yeah, but I think I did okay.
I'm sure you did. Is there anything you want to add? Now you've got a moment.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like I've been on such a long journey. Like I've been a writer for like 10 years now. Like, and I just can't believe that I've got to this point. And, you know, the success of Heartstopper has been so wild, and it's just completely changed my life. And I'm so just grateful to like everyone who's been involved in that journey.
I mean, it's been such an amazing year, like truly epic. And how did it feel watching Heartstopper launch on Netflix?
It's amazing.
It's
like
surreal.
I feel so blessed to have a book adaptation in the first place,
Yeah.
but also one that I genuinely love and like I'm really truly happy with. I feel like that doesn't always happen with book adaptations.
Yeah.
So yeah, so happy.
I started reading actually Heartstopper last night on the webcomic. And I got
Amazing.
absolutely like hooked. I was like, I'm just gonna have a little dive in, and like 2 hours later I was still there like reading.
Excellent.
And
Good.
I mean, it started quite a few years ago now, but what was the original inspiration?
So Heartstopper is about 2 boys called Nick and Charlie, and those 2 boys were originally characters in my very first novel, Solitaire, which came out way back in 2014. And when I finished writing that story, I knew that I wanted to tell Nick and Charlie's story somehow. And that just kind of slowly developed into Heartstopper. And now we're here.
Now we're here, yeah. I mean, there's so much love for it. It's such like an amazing community that you've built around Heartstopper, and it's also happened like quite organically as well. Like, what do you think people are responding to?
I think above all, it's the joyfulness of the story and the optimism and the hope. Like I always try to make Heartstopper tackle real world issues like mental health and homophobia and bullying, but it always looks at those things with a sort of hopeful lens and the idea that, you know, even though these bad things can happen, things are going to be okay in the end. And I think people just love to read that sort of thing.
Yeah, people love to read joy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And how has it been? Because it started as a webcomic, and now you're working with Hodder children's books, with the graphic novels, and how has that been, that journey?
It's been really, really positive.
Yeah.
I think I've been really lucky to have found people who truly care about Heartstopper and who are really passionate about it and who I get along with really well.
Yeah.
So even though, you know, taking that first step from it being solely my thing to being like a whole team of people's thing, that was a bit scary, but it's been worth it, definitely.
Yeah, I guess you're putting yourself out there, really, aren't
Yeah.
you? You're like, this is mine, now it's everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess like there's so much love for Heartstopper as well, especially within the publishing industry and like booksellers and bookshops. Do you have any like favourite bookshops?
Oh, favourite bookshops.
It's
Oh
a
my
tough
gosh.
question.
That is a very tough question. I mean, Gosh Comics in London is like childhood me's dream shop because there were no like comic shops around where I lived, so I never really had that experience. And then I remember when Heartstopper was like first being released, I got to do a signing at Gosh Comics, and just like
amazing.
walking in and like being surrounded by comics and graphic novels was like, I felt like 7 years old again.
That is the
so.
dream, isn't
Yeah.
it? If you could recommend like a graphic novel or a comic to a fan of Heartstopper, what would you recommend?
To a fan of Heartstopper, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tilly Walden, who is a graphic novelist who makes some queer YA, and her books they're a little bit different to Heartstopper. She does more like kind of fantasy stuff. But the art style is just so beautiful, and she expresses so much in her art without much dialogue, and that's something that I absolutely love as an artist.
Oh, wow,
So,
that's
yeah.
really admirable. Yeah. So what books do you have on your bedside table to be read?
Oh my gosh, so many. too many to name. I mean, I'm a fan.
Yes,
That's
just
literally at the
one.
top of my
Yeah.
to read list, and that one tonight. So that reminded me that I need to read that really soon, definitely.
That's a very positive reminder from this evening.
Yeah.
How do you plan on celebrating then? Full evening ahead.
eating some good food, and yeah, like my agent is up for an award as well, and so is my
gosh,
editor,
amazing.
and like I think it's going to be a really joyful evening.
It's going to be such
us.
a fantastic evening,
Yeah.
and I can't thank you enough for coming and taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.